Hello, what's going on guys, and welcome back to Johnny Gaming. In this video today, I will give you guys a few tips and tricks about how to play Honkai Impact 3 in a great way, part 2. So without any further ado, let's get this video started. First of all, the number one tips that I'm about to give you guys in the game is that you need to break through or not when you reach captain level 80. So that's a big reason that you need to consider about breakthrough when you reach captain level 80 is because the abyss. Well, if you break through, you will not enter the regular abyss anymore. Instead, you will enter the super string dimension, which there exists many whale, it is many experienced player, it is many veteran player, and you need to consider if you have enough equipment or if you have enough Valkyrie to compete in those environments. Speaking about the super string dimension, this type of environment will give you a lot of crystal for you to invest on your equipment and meta. So you need to consider if you really need to break through or not. If you don't have enough equipment, it's best to just stay right where you are and just farm crystal in your current abyss environment. So just keep on thinking carefully about choosing your Valkyrie and invest on your equipment until you have enough resource to compete in those super string dimension environment. And through my honest opinion, super string dimension is very hard to keep up nowadays. It's because each of the stake right now require you to have those top tier Valkyrie, and mostly they need to have fully equipment, and you obviously need to have the 6 stars equipment, which is the high-end equipment in the game. So it's very important for you to consider to have enough Valkyrie with the right equipment with 6-star weapon in order to compete in the super string dimension, or they will outskill you with the better equipment and better experience. So that is the number one tip in the game, which is consider if you need to break through or not when you reach the captain level 80. Just see if you have enough equipment, see if you have the right Valkyrie and the right equipment or the right resource to compete in those super string dimension and the memorable arena. So just keep in mind to just take it easy, play it slow, and when you're ready, be ready. So the next is the equipment investment. Why am I just saying it right in the part 2? Is because equipment investment is very important for each of those Valkyrie. Is because when you enter the abyss, you need to have the right equipment. You cannot just spam the random stuff on your Valkyrie and expect them to do well even if you have the right skill. For example, we have here the Ancora, which is a Valkyrie who depends highly on her equipment to function correctly in the game. So what I'm trying to say is that when you invest on the Valkyrie, don't just get the Valkyrie alone. Get her some equipment, get her some stigmata. Just give her every ounce of your love and to make her function in the game. Don't just just get the Valkyrie alone and just expect her to be good in the game. No, you need to have her equipment, you need to have a stigmata. The story goes entirely different if you are a player who only play to collect those Valkyrie. Then you don't have to worry that much about collecting the equipment because you're just there to collect the Valkyrie, collect your waifus. So it doesn't matter that much. But to me, if you want to have fun in the game and you need to have something to just hold your feet and just stay with the game, you need to compete in the game. You need to have those fun and those adrenaline. So you obviously need to invest on your equipment and don't just get another Valkyrie if you haven't finished those equipment for the Valkyrie that you already have. So for example, there's a very bad example actually. I want to have in this version, I tried to have the equipment for the Haxo Bunny Bronya, but I failed to do so even though I spent like 22,000 crystal. But that doesn't let me down because I knew that getting the Valkyrie equipment is very worth it. With the Valkyrie fully equipped, you will function very well in those abyss environment. So the next stuff that I want to give you guys is the third tips, which is the elf worth it? And I will give you guys my honest opinion on why I only have 2 elves in the game. Well, here's the main reason I want to tell you guys is they are very expensive. Why I saying so is because you need maximum of 15,000 crystal in order to get the guarantee get the elf that you want. Not to mention, if you want this elf to function properly, you need to have like, I don't know, like 3 copies of those elf. So in the maximum, you if you have the worst luck in the world, you will need to have like, I don't know, 45,000 crystal in order to maximum the 4-star of the elf in order to function properly. So other than the fact that they are very cute and they are very kawaii, and so they can follow you around and they could display as a kawaii creature as your pet, they only boost, I don't know, like 10% of the performance of the damage in every environment in the game. And in the memorable arena, they will give you like extra 2 to 3 seconds advantage over other players, but those few seconds could potentially overpass that by your skills, by your experience, by playing over and over the stage, by getting the mechanic, memorize the mechanic. So what I'm trying to say is that they are generally not worth it. So you better spend your hard-earned crystal on your equipment and your Valkyrie instead. And again, the story goes entirely different if you are a player who only play to collect your stuff, to just, you know, have some cute kawaii creature in the game just following you around. But what I'm trying to say is that if you are playing the game to, you know, compete, to have fun in those environments, elves are generally not worth it. Those 2 free elves are, to me, enough to compete in those environments. This elf will help me heal. This elf will help me break shield. Will give my Valkyrie an extra damage over the top, like a cherry on top of an icy cake. So yeah, that's just my opinion on the elf. Next up is the final tips in this part 2. Is the follow meta or not? So after 4 years of playing Honkai Impact 3, I realized that follow meta doesn't get you anywhere. It's because even if you get those new Valkyrie every version, which is very expensive, which is very hard, you can never be able to follow the meta in this game. It's because the meta change every version. Every version they will give you, like every 2 to 3 versions, they will give you an extra OP Valkyrie, who then take the spotlight of the old Valkyrie, and they will eventually, inevitably, stand on top of those Valkyrie, and you will have no choice but to get those Valkyrie. So that is the meta, the current situation in the Honkai Impact 3. Like, take her Show of Sentient for example. Like, with her alone, she can do like support and she can do DPS, and she take the role of 3 Valkyrie, which is, I'm sorry, 2 Valkyrie, which is the Hersh of the Void and the Celestial Hymn. Getting this Valkyrie will give you like 2 different roles, which is support and which is DPS, and she works very amazingly great. So what I'm trying to say is that you can, even if you are a well player, you need to spend a lot of crystal and a lot of money to follow the meta. Even if you are a free-to-play player, it's impossible to follow the meta. It's because the meta change every 2 to 3 version. It will invariably make a greater Valkyrie than the previous one. And the Abyss environment, the Super String Dimension, they will make new stage according to those new Valkyrie. Like for example, we have this Starcom Nyx. She's the new Valkyrie, and she already have her the new stage for her to work best in those environment stage. So what I'm trying to say is that just get the Valkyrie that already exists out there and stop following the meta. So like, just get the Valkyrie that you think they deserve a spotlight in your account, and so you will invest on those Valkyrie and you will work fairly fine in the game. So make a clear plan, get the Valkyrie that you desire the most, and just invest on those Valkyrie. Get those Valkyrie some love, give them every ounce of your love, fill them with your equipment, fill them with your skills, and then you will probably enjoy playing the game, and you can compete in those high-end environment, which is the super shrink dimension. So yeah, that is all the tip that I want to give you guys for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any question, feel free to comment down below. I will try to answer them as much as I can. And yeah, goodbye.